You know that feeling, right? Your heart's just pounding, your palms are getting sweaty. You're about to face one of the biggest fears on the entire planet: public speaking. But what if I told you that all that fear could actually be your greatest asset? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to turn that anxiety into your secret weapon. So, be honest. Does this very thought, all those eyes on you, just make your heart race? It's wild, but some studies show people fear public speaking even more than they fear death. So, if you're feeling that wave of panic, just know you are in very, very good company. It's a completely normal, deeply human reaction. And that reaction, it usually feels a little something like this. Your heart is beating so hard you think it's going to pop right out of your chest. Your hands are trembling, you can barely hold your notes, you're sweating. And your mind, it just goes completely blank. These aren't just nerves, folks. These are the classic physical signs of stage fright. Okay, so what in the world are we supposed to do with all this anxiety? Well, the very first step is to completely change how you think about it. See, your nerves aren't some enemy you have to defeat. They're actually an ally, just waiting for you to put them to work. Think of it this way. Your body is flooding itself with adrenaline. Now, that's the exact same response that would have helped our ancestors escape a saber-toothed tiger. You're not facing a tiger, you're facing an audience, but that same hormonal rush is making you hyper-focused, it's sharpening your senses, and it's getting you ready to perform at your absolute best. So, how do you actually channel all that amazing energy? It really comes down to one simple thing: preparation. The experts all agree the absolute best way to manage that anxiety is to prepare and prepare and then prepare some more. That's how you give all that adrenaline a job to do. And that preparation, it all starts with a really important shift in your focus. Here's the secret. It's not about you. It's not about your nerves or how you sound. It's about your audience. The moment you realize your job is to give them something valuable, a new idea, a good laugh, a real connection, so much of that pressure just starts to melt away. So before you write a single word, I want you to ask yourself these two super simple questions. 1, who am I really talking to? And 2, what is the one thing I want them to walk away remembering? Your answers to those questions, that's your compass. It's going to guide every single decision you make. Knowing your purpose helps you figure out which lane you're in. Are you telling a funny story about yourself to connect with your new team? That's a personal speech. Are you trying to explain a complex topic and make it easy to understand? That's informative. Or are you trying to get everyone fired up about a cause you believe in? Well, that's persuasive. Knowing your goal is the absolute first step to hitting your target. And you guys, understanding your audience is, well, it's everything. You wouldn't try to explain a complicated scientific theory to a bunch of 5-year-olds using the same language you'd use with a room full of experts, right? Of course not. The more you know about your listeners, what they care about, what they already know, the more your message is going to land. All right, so you know where you're going and you know who's coming with you. Now it's time to draw the map. A really solid structure is what's going to keep you and your audience from getting lost. It's the blueprint that makes sure your message has a real impact. I mean, let's be real for a second. Has anyone ever felt a jolt of excitement when a speaker says that? No way. It's the most boring opening ever. You need to start with a splash of color, something that grabs their attention from the very first word. You know, every great story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And guess what? Your speech is a story. You need a powerful hook to pull people in. You need a clear, logical body that takes them on a journey through your main points. And you need a memorable close that leaves them thinking long after you're done. So what does a great hook even look like? Well, it could be a really shocking statistic. It could be a personal story that makes everyone feel connected. Maybe a powerful quote that makes them think differently. Or even a weird, fascinating piece of history they've never heard before. The goal is just to make them lean in and think, okay, tell me more. Okay, pro tip time. This is a big one. Use an outline, not a word-for-word script. Seriously, reading from a script just puts this invisible wall between you and the audience. But an outline is more like a safety net. It keeps you on track, but it gives you the freedom to be in the moment and actually connect with the people right in front of you. All right, you have done the hard work. You've prepared, you have your map. Now for the really fun part, bringing your speech to life. This is where all that prep pays off, and you really get to shine. Look, if I could only give you one piece of advice for delivery, it would be this. Just be yourself. Your audience doesn't want to see a perfect, polished robot. They want to connect with a real, live human being. So let your unique personality come through. That's how you build real trust and rapport. And don't forget, your body is talking long before you even open your mouth. Use your hands to help you tell the story. Look individual people in the eye for a few seconds to make them feel included. Move around the stage with a sense of purpose. Believe it or not, your nonverbal cues often speak way louder than your actual words. And hey, a quick word on PowerPoint slides. Think of them as your backup singers, okay? You're the lead vocalist. They're there to support your message, to clarify a point, not to be the main attraction. The real magic always happens in that human connection between you and your audience, not in the pixels on a screen. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. It's all about practice, but probably not in the way you're thinking. See, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be confident. This 5-step method is an absolute game changer. You start by just reading your outline out loud to see how it sounds. Then you practice using just a few key words so you internalize the ideas, not just memorize the words. Recording yourself is like having your own personal coach, and a full dress rehearsal, that's your chance to work out any kinks. This isn't about memorization, it's about building muscle memory. This quote, this is so important. It basically gives you permission to be human. Look, I've given tons of presentations. I've stumbled on my words, I've forgotten a point, I've had tech fail on me, and you know what? It's always okay. The audience is on your side. They want you to succeed. So let's just get one thing crystal clear right here, right now. If you are chasing a flawless, mistake-free performance, you are chasing a ghost. That is not the goal. It has never been the goal of public speaking. What is it about? It's about connection. It's about sharing a piece of your passion in a way that makes your audience feel something or sparks a new idea in their mind. That genuine connection, that's the real magic. Listen, you have a story that's worth telling. You have an idea that's worth sharing. Don't let fear keep that gift locked up inside. Use these tools, not just to inform people, but to connect with them and inspire them. Now, what are you going to do to get out there and share your gift with the world?